All right, gentlemen, we're going to finish off our discussion of a regulated monopoly. So what you're going to notice is we have our downsloping demand curve, our more steeply downsloping marginal revenue curve. So downsloping demand curve here, more steeply downsloping marginal revenue curve here. Our marginal cost curve is coming in here, and then we will add in our average total cost. Okay, so we've got some different price options here. We can go at our typical profit maximizing or loss minimizing price, which would be the monopoly price. And in that instance, you're going to have a profit in this example of here to here. So here is total profit, and then per unit profit becomes this vertical distance right there. Okay, now another option that the regulators could have would be to choose a fair return price, which would give us normal profit. Okay, this means that at this price is dictated by the demand curve. At this price, average total cost is equal to price. But since it's normal profit, we know that that is actually covering explicit and implicit costs. So this business will make it in the long run, and it will produce this quantity, as opposed to this lower quantity over here at the monopoly price. And perhaps we might decide that we need a lot more quantity, right? Because whatever this regulated thing is, maybe it's electricity or water or something that's very important. Now the last option is our socially optimal price. So, whoops, the socially optimal price, sorry guys. Okay, so the socially optimal price here puts us in a position where we're going to have to be at a loss. So at this quantity, we have a difference between the price and the average total cost, and this represents a per unit loss. This would be, excuse my bad art, this would then represent total loss. Okay, so the vertical distance is loss per unit, and then the area is total loss. Now, at this point, we know that the government is going to provide a subsidy. There's two types of subsidies that they could provide. They could either do a per unit subsidy or a lump sum subsidy. A lump sum subsidy means that the business is just given a flat check. Okay, it's a certain amount. Say they're given $2,000. Well, what that's going to do is it's going to reduce fixed cost. Okay, which means that it will also reduce average total cost. So our average total cost curve will just shift downward because now since our fixed costs are lower, it's really just a negative tax, right, where the government would be paying in order to produce. And it would just take this whole average total cost curve and it would shift it down. And if it shifted it down to here, then they would be making normal profit at the socially optimal price. Okay, but it's not going to change marginal cost. That's the difference. The subsidy will not change marginal cost because it still costs the exact same additional amount to produce whatever quantity it's producing. Now, if we want to change marginal cost, then this lump sum, or this per unit subsidy is going to decrease marginal cost. So whether we're talking about taxes or subsidies, remember subsidies are just negative taxes. If for some reason you want to change marginal cost, meaning you want to dictate a change in quantity, right? All these quantities are going to change when you move marginal cost. If marginal cost goes down, then you're going to have a different intersection with marginal revenue, and then quantity is going to go up. Okay? But if you don't really care about that, then you can just do a lump sum subsidy. So per unit is going to change marginal cost, and there's going to be a delta Q. There will be a change in quantity. But a lump sum subsidy is just going to lower the fixed tax and the ATC, so there will not be a change in that regard.